What's going on, peeps?
We live, baby.
Hey, Wes, Pete, you
Yes,
know what I
sir.
like about catfish? Catfish
that?
are they're like the real men in the fish kingdom because they will go find their bed and they'll just wait on the female. Then the female comes along and they do their little thing and he lets the female go and he stays there and he raises the kids. He's a single father. He's raising the kids. Not only is he raising the kids, but as the eggs sit there, and the eggs, they kind of look like little BBs, and they're kind of all congealed together. And he will groom them, and he sits there and he fans his tail and he keeps them aerated, keeps them clean, keeps them protected. And it's just a good father, just a good, solid, single dad
That's all that for him to
upbringing.
be a turd roller.
You know what stripers do? Stripers just let them go, bro. Hey, you F them kids. They on their own.
Survival of the fittest, right?
Yeah, that's what them stripers do.
Sure.
And those bass, those poor guys, it takes multiple male bass to stay on the bed to protect those eggs because they're so dumb. They spawn up on the banks where every predator in the world can see them.
Lake Norman, for example, he ain't got. They don't have a chance to spawn because the dang bass fishermen will dang jack them at their beds and weigh them in for weighing, and they get devoured.
And those guys think they're the best fishermen. Those guys that'll go up and they'll foul hook them or they'll pester them all day long until they catch them. You know, you got those bed fishermen, and those guys are the worst. Nobody likes bed fishermen. But that's sometimes, you gotta. It's kind of like live scope. You know, if you gotta, if in order to compete, you have to join them.
Yep, I guess so.
I know stripers are. I think it takes them about 5. It's about the same for them and catfish. I know catfish. It takes about 5 to 7 years for them to become like sexually, like reproductively mature, where they can spawn. So a lot of guys, they go out during the spawn and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Catfish are biting. We're still catching catfish. No, you're catching catfish, but you're catching catfish that aren't reproductively mature yet. So you're catching small catfish because the big catfish, about the second week of May all the way to the first week of July, they don't eat. And what's interesting is, like, if you go talk to a guy at a hatchery, they will raise these catfish and they won't eat for like 3 weeks, and they have no desire whatsoever to eat. It's like when they get in that spawn mode, food is the last thing on their mind. So that's why that bite is so good. That post-spawn trophy catfish bite is so good, because when they come off spawn, you want to talk about starving to death. These things are eating machines.
Hey, JR, right? Quick question. Are we on YouTube tonight?
Mm-hmm. We are on YouTube.
I got a buddy who wanted to watch it, and he's going to watch it from YouTube because they don't have Facebook. So
unfortunately, we're not on the Lake Wiley Catfish group. I didn't have time to figure out why, but when I created the StreamYard for tonight, Lake Wiley Catfish it wasn't on there. It was gone. So I got to figure out how I need to.
You got banned.
Well, I started the group. It's my group. So yeah, I shouldn't have. I mean, but that's the thing about a Facebook group is if you let anyone else be an admin, they can remove you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like that's it. You're gone. Like even if you started the group.
You're an admin on my page, ain't you?
That group also got removed. That group also got removed from the stream. So the only thing we got going on the stream right now is my profile, your profile, and the Real Fisherman page and YouTube. And that's it. We need to get Pete to get on here and log and link his profile up. I don't know why he hadn't done that yet.
Well, he's talking about it. Never got to, I guess. I don't know.
He's a fucking Yankee.
Shit.
I mean, come on, man. I'm paying $50 a month for this StreamYard. Least you can do is link your profile to it.
I will. We'll do it. We talked about it several times, but we just never got to it, I think. I don't know.
We'll do it. You never got to it. You never got. We can't do it. You have to do it.
Pete, I've noticed you've been catching some pretty good sized crappie lately. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
They say that the theory, I think it's not a theory. It's actually been proven. But if a lake has big crappie, they tend to have small bass. If a lake has big bass, I'm talking about largemouth, then they tend to have small crappie. Is there any truth to that you know of?
I can't really say for sure either way. I will say that High Rock does have a pretty good balance as far as big bass, medium bass, small bass, and then crappie. You know, they got a lot of dinks, but there's a decent amount of large crappie as well.
Okay. So it sounds like y'all got it pretty balanced.
I would say that High Rock is kind of leaning more so towards the small crappie sector because there's just so many damn fish. The small ones outnumber the big ones.
The small ones outnumber the big ones.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
And I think that one of the theories are that if you have small bass, you have large crappie. And the reason for that being is that the crappie aren't competing as much with each other. And if you have big bass, you have small crappie because they're not getting preyed on as much. And there's less for them to eat. I don't know. That's all that stuff. The whole, as far as the biomass of a lake, it's very, very complex. So many different contingencies and variables there. But I was watching Dieter Melhorn fishing about 5 years ago, maybe longer, and he had found some indentations in Lake Wylie, and this was back when because I was catching some big fish on Wylie at the time, and the places I was catching these fish were in holes, and they happened to be post spawn for the most part. Most of my big fish came during post spawn, and I would catch them in holes on Wylie in deep water. Now, granted, deep water is 30 plus feet deep. 30 to 40 feet deep is your deepest part of Lake Wylie. So anything over 30 feet deep is deep water, considered deep. So I was catching these giant fish, these post-spawn giants, in these holes. And the only way I found these holes is because at the time I didn't have side scan. And I went with a buddy, Alan, when he very first bought his boat. And we went over this area where I had caught big fish and I had side scan on. And I was trolling over this area, and I saw where I'd been catching those big fish was a big giant hole, and almost like a crater, like an asteroid hit there or something. And it hit because you can't really see that on 2D or down scan. And it hit me. I was like, man, these fish are coming. I don't know if they're coming out of where they spawned and they're just resting in these holes or what. But then it wasn't long after that, and I want to say this was around 2016, 2017. I saw a video that Dieter made where he had found a ton of like 2-foot craters. Now, granted, the crater that I'm talking about is like 30 foot by 30 foot. It's a huge one, but the ones that he found are like a ton of like 2-foot craters. And that makes sense because Lake Wylie is old. So, you're most people think that catfish are spawning in like hollowed out logs, up in like in between rocks, any kind of like crevice, anywhere where they could like have protection. But on Wylie being so old, any stumps or anything like those things have been gone for decades. So,
yeah.
And I think that these fish on Wylie are spawning deep in these craters. I don't know. I know you guys are striper fishermen, and so there's not really any like dens or beds for striper. They just go up into the rivers and spawn in the current. But you both have crappie fished. The crappie, they come up more shallow, and I think they spawn on brush, so their eggs can kind of stick to the brush. Not sure. I'm not very familiar with the crappie spawn, but I think that's what they do. They come back to the brush piles and lay their eggs on the brush for the most part. It's a mixed
bag of everything on crappie. Not all crappie will spawn shallow. I've determined that, I guess, the last many years. catching, spawned out fish deep or dark males in 15 foot of water. So yeah, you get a lot that go shallow, and you get a lot that will spawn on stumps in 15, 20 foot of water. One thing I've noticed about high rock is the water has been fluctuating a lot. It's been up a foot, down a foot, up a foot, down a foot. And that's kind of sort of messing with the shallow spawn. So a lot of these fish have not really gone shallow like you would think they should, but they're more so in that, we'll say the 3 to 5 foot range. So not quite on the banks, but about midways on these docks, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because of the water fluctuation there.
And I don't think that's abnormal. I think that, a lot of these studies that biologists have done and stuff have been on certain lakes, and there's so many different variables. Like I was just talking about the catfish on Wiley. I think they spawn deep in holes, and I it's completely different depending on the reservoir, depending on the habitat, depending on so many different other factors can determine where fish spawn.
True.
I tell you what, if the crappie are on the brush on a dock, I know a guy that can shoot a dock surprisingly well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wes Rose can shoot the hell out of a jig. He can shoot a jig better than I can.
Oh, Wes Rose.
The guy has literally never talked about crappie fishing, but obviously he's done some crappie fishing because he sure can shoot a damn jig.
It's fun. I like it, but I'm a lazy crappie fisherman. I like to get them in there on the brush pile, just drop a minnow down on top of them, and
the way you can shoot a jig, you would prefer a minnow? That makes no sense.
I'm a lazy fisherman.
Well,
hey, let me tell y'all. I guess y'all know who Hank Parker is, right?
Of course.
I went to a dinner with him today. My buddy Dale Gilbert invited me as part of the young men. It's the Christian something association. It's an association that's, it tries to help young Christian men in their futures, what they're going to, show them how to invest money and prepare for the future. Well, anyway, he told his story at the Poinsett Club today. I don't know if you've seen the pictures I put on Facebook. And Hank's got an awesome story. The best part I like, long story short, was, his dad tried to get him saved for years, and he never was, he never did want to hear nothing about God or religion, Christianity, or nothing. Uh-huh. But when his dad died, the guy that preached the eulogy found a little note he had written and left in his Bible. And the note read, when somebody finds my Bible, he said, I don't want nobody to give a eulogy at my funeral. I'd rather you preach the word of God, and please try to bring my son to God and get him saved. And of course, when he read that, that's how Hank Parker became a Christian and got saved. I mean, but his whole story is amazing. He's a great guy. I got to meet him, talk to him for a while today. We had a great time.
Cool.
So,
have you guys you found a magic number for reading sonar? I've noticed from my personal experience that, setting still, you're not going to get a good return. It's just going to be like lines, and barely moving. Like if you're just going half a mile an hour, 1 mile an hour, even, you're kind of going to get a little distortion. I think around, I would say 3 miles per hour. I think that's where you get your best return on your sonar. And
no, not with mine. My 2D sonar on my Garmin.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sitting still and watch fish come through under the boat.
Yeah.
No distortion. I mean, when you've seen it offshore, when we're bottom fishing,
yeah,
we're pretty much still. And now that's with Garmin. I don't know about any others, but my Garmin 2D sonar has always been awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you talking about down scan or side scan or both?
2D.
Both. I'm talking about all three.
Now,
if the fish comes swimming through, it's moving. So yeah, you're going to get a good signature. But if you're looking at structure, like let's say there's a tree down there, there's some a catfish that's just sitting still, or a sunken boat, whatever. That's really what I'm talking about, is picking up sonar signatures of things that are still. So you're moving, so you're getting a good signature. But yeah, like if you're sitting still and a fish comes swimming by, you know, it's moving. So yeah, you're going to get a good signature.
Yeah. For me, I'd say anywhere from 2.5 to 6 miles an hour. I get a pretty good read. But for me, it's more so depth. Now, when I say depth, side scan. Anything deeper than 40 feet, I don't really get an awesome view of the bottom, that is, but you can still see fish. But anything above 40, you can see the bottom very clearly, very defined.
Now, I'll tell you what's confusing. And Wes, you and Pete can both try to answer this. I don't know if y'all will know or not, but let's say you're trolling along, or you're moving along at 3 to 5 miles per hour, and you mark something. You mark some fish. Let's say you mark a brush pile on a ledge and there's fish all over it. How do you know where that was?
Easy.
You got to calculate. Oh, go ahead.
Nope. So I can hit my unit exactly where the spot is. Bing, and it'll mark it exactly.
And it'll mark it. Okay, yeah. Well, what is that on all? Is that on down scan, 2D, and side scan?
It is, yes.
Okay.
So if I see something 40 feet that way that looks like a brush pile, load of fish, I can click exactly that little spot right there, and it'll mark it exactly the spot right there that I touched.
But
now, you got to hit it and hit a couple buttons, you know, but it will mark that spot precisely.
Yeah, I knew you could do that on side scan. I couldn't remember if you could do that on the 2D or the down scan.
No, Pete, not exactly. It won't mark it exactly. Sometimes you can be 10 to 15 feet off.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I noticed with mine, though, like, you know, and I used to wonder the same thing. And I got with a guy, his name was Dr. Sonar. That was his screen name. But he said a lot of things comes into play. He said, say you're in 20 foot of water and you're going 2 miles an hour, 1.5, 2 miles an hour. Soon as you see fish in the screen come up, you say, hey, there's fish. How far do you know how far are they behind the boat? Are they behind the boat? Are they in front of the boat? You got to, and there again, you got to be, and it's something you got to learn because I'm not that good with math, but you got to calculate, first of all, how deep of water are you? How far is your cone going out? Because see, the deeper the water is, the wider the cone.
There's another question, Wes. Like, can't you set your your side scan? You can set it up on like 60 feet or up to like 100 feet, 120 feet.
I'm talking about 2D sonar.
What do y'all have y'all set up on?
Mine's auto.
Mine's auto.
Auto?
Yeah.
I would like to know because if you are marking, let's say you're using side scan, it looks like if you got it set on 120 feet, it's going to make those objects seem like they're smaller probably than if you had it set on 60 feet or 40 feet. It depends
how deep of water I'm at. So if I'm pretty shallow, I have mine set at 60, 80. But if I'm in deeper water, I'll run it out about 100 feet, 100, 120.
Okay.
See, just like Pete said, though, and this is the way I like to do brush pile fishing. When I find a brush pile, if I see fish on it, I'll touch that screen and put it right where I want it, save it as a waypoint. I'll go off of it, then I'll turn around. And it's no matter what angle I'm coming back at that, as soon as I see it coming up in my screen again, that's where I'll anchor lock at. Because you got to figure, say I'm in a 20, say what, Pete, what is your boat? Your bay boat.
What about it? 22 foot?
20 is your transducer in the back?
In the back, yeah.
So as soon as your transducer picks up here, you got to give 20 foot.
But I don't think that's a good way to look at it because what if you're going, because it's going to be a different distance if you're going 3 miles per hour versus if you're going 7 miles per hour.
Exactly.
Here's your solution. Hit that dang mark, turn back around on it, drop that damn live scope and figure it out.
There you go. But no, like I said, Gerald, like Pete said, though, when I mark it just to make sure if I want to get to that spot again, as soon as I'm going to turn around and I'm going to try to hit it again. And as soon as it comes up on my screen, I'm stopping right there because if you notice, once you stop, you'll still see the picture keep moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when that picture keeps moving, that means that you've already passed that. Even though you stopped, your transducer's already past that point. So as soon as I see it come up in my depth finder again, I stop right there. And that's where I put a trolling motor out and fish. And it's always worked for me. But everybody does it different.
Are y'all ever afraid of spooking fish when you're doing that? Because I feel like the way I look at it is if I'm in anything over 10 to, if I'm in anything under like 15 foot, 10 foot, then I feel like I spook those fish, and I'll come back to them later. Like if I'm trying to mark some fish, and I mark some in suspended 5 feet off the bottom in 12 foot of water, and I'm right over top of them. Like sometimes I'll go ahead and go hit a couple more spots, and I'll hit the waypoint on that spot. I'll go hit a couple more spots, and then I'll come back to that spot, and I won't go directly over that area. I'll run a board up to that or something, and I'll try to like be more stealthy. I feel like if you're in shallow water, like anything under say 15 feet, for example, I feel like you're spooking the fish, even though you're marking them. Yes, but those fish are gone. Even though you marked them, they're gone because you spooked them. Because literally, the boat's just right there. It's just like the fish is like, oh, there's a boat. They're gone.
It takes me. I've learned over the last years here with Live Scope, or last year, I guess, and then talking to a lot of folks with it. I've seen it, and now I do believe that the fish does not need to be under the boat. It could be 40 feet in front of you, 50 feet in front of you, somewhere in that zone there. But these dang fish, at times, they will spook when they hear that dang whole slap a wave. You know how it's choppy and your boat does that?
Mm-hmm.
Them fish can hear that, and they'll scatter. They'll be gone. And that includes brush piles, too. I actually seen it.
But it seems like that would be such a common noise. Like it would be almost like a white noise to them. Almost like I live in the city. I live in the city of Gastonia, and I am in the heart of the city. And so I got Highway 321 that's just right over there. So all I'm hearing is sirens constantly. And it's like I don't ever hear them because it's white noise to me now. Like when I'm on the phone with Lacey or somebody that lives in somewhere rural, somewhere out in the country, they're constantly like, damn, dude, what's going on down there? I hear an ambulance. I hear a cop. Then I can hear it, but it's other than that, it's white noise. And it seems like the fish would be the same way with boats constantly going out there, especially in the summertime and even the spring. It looks like they would just get used to all that.
You would think that for sure.
But I guess a hull slapping, if it's right over top of them, it's at the very least going to spook them momentarily. They're going to take off. They may come back, but they're probably going to dart, but I don't know.
So anything else, some days are finicky. In those finicky days, that whole slap makes a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever noticed, like, it's hard to tell what Shane Reel told me that I think he said Mac Byram is the one that told him this, that whatever fish you're targeting, that's what you're marking. So if you're striper fishing and you're marking fish, they're striper. But that's not true. But have you noticed any differentiation between species of fish when you're marking fish as far as like striper versus crappie? Because that's basically what us three mainly do. Is I've noticed from my personal experience, it seems like crappie tend to be more stacked up vertically than anything else. It's almost like they Christmas trees. Everybody talks about how good Christmas trees are for crappie. It's almost like the way you mark a school of crappie, they'll almost look like a Christmas tree. Yep. Like they'll be kind of stacked up.
I agree 100%. When they get in these big old piles of, these big schools, you see them all stacked up from top to bottom. And that's where I've learned side scan is deadly, because you go through there and you can mark that big old blob. And, oftentimes bait is a big cloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's on a side scan, you see small little specks. But as you scan an area 40, 60 feet out, one direction, you see a big old blob and you see individual specks all around that are very defined. You hit the motor loader.
That's right. So what's Thomas wrote a paragraph. It would be a disservice not to. I'm going to mute you, Wes.
I'll be right back.
Thomas said, I'm looking hard. If I'm looking hard, I will shut off big motor, go trolling motor, and bring chart speed down to 1. And spooking cats, 9 times out of 10, they will move right back. They circle outward. Why planer boards are so successful. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'm going to try to find that Dieter Melhorn video that I was talking about. I'm going to Google catfish beds on sonar. Here we go. Boom. That's it right there. Wow, he looks he looks a lot younger. Let's see.
Don't we all back then, right?
Let me hit share screen. Boom.
And Chris just called me. He said he appreciated the invite, JR, but he's trying to get Dory ready to go to the beach, and he's going to go back fishing. So.
Oh, well, I didn't invite him. Did you invite him?
I did.
Oh, okay. We didn't want you on here anyway. Nobody wants you around here, dirt.
Well, Chris
Yeah.
Hovis.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want his ass here anyways. That's cool.
All right. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
All right. Here we go.
Hello, Catfish World. How are you doing?
Content on the shelf as I got to look at me that close because I can't see it. The other thing, once the motor show cleared of all timber and any stumps that were left are probably, I found some stuff on some sonar. I'm going to show it to you and I'm going to get your opinion on it. Let me show you what I got here. Punch down to the right camera. Bear with me. Hopefully I don't end the thing. Bam. All right. That worked pretty good. If you look right here, these round holes on the bottom, this is shown on side scan. You see these are holes in the bottom. You can see the shadow off the inside of it. That shadow in there, that dark area, is showing you that there is an indentation there. And I found these in some different places. I'll show you another shot of them here. Pick that one up. All right. There's some more. Some deep water. You can kind of see where the boat was.
Okay. Yeah. Was that not cool?
That was pretty cool.
What was cool about it? I'm missing something.
Yeah.
It was cool that he marked all those indentations on the bottom
Looked like a bunch of rocks to me.
on side scan. Oh no, it was most definitely craters, like holes. Could you tell they were holes, Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some look like holes to me, yes. But then again, I didn't really look too terribly hard. So
Gerald, you think? Let me ask y'all a question. Me and Perry's talked about this. We've really talked about it on Russell. Me personally, and I'm kind of with Scott on this one. I think like a lot of those fish on Russell, I don't think they all swim up to tail races. You got these fish down there today, and I'm not sure about the oxygen. If they run oxygen down there in the winter, I don't see why they would need to, but they may. I don't know. But Russell's, it's so cold down there on the bottom. You got plenty of oxygen. There's plenty of food. You know, you got Beer Garden Creek right there, and a couple other creeks right there around the dam. If anything, I believe a lot of them fish, they when they get out of their comfort zone and they have to drop them eggs, they'll go just find a shallow shoal somewhere and dump them and go right back down to their comfort zone. I just can't see every fish in the lake, even half of those fish trying to find a tributary to swim all the way up to spawn. Some people say it's in their nature, but how does that fish know what north, south, east, and west is? How does it know? You know what I'm saying? Which tributaries?
I think it's going for the current. And it just so happens that when fish find current, it happens basically 100% of the time, it happens to be at the upper reaches of the reservoir.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
what about when you got a reservoir that's not pulling current or not pulling it every day or a constant current?
I think that there'll always be some current because you got the natural flow of the river. You know, you may not be able to see the current, but every reservoir is a reservoir because it's dammed. So the original river channel is still there. So there'll be some current, and I think it's more noticeable in the upper reaches. You know, I think that they can just tell that they're going to where they're going to give their eggs the best chance to, because a striper's eggs have to tumble for 72 hours.
Yeah.
but they,
Well,
they'll,
say they cut the water off at Hartwell. They decide not to run Hartwell for 2 or 3 days. You don't have no current in Russell. The only current you're going to get into Russell that I know of is when they're pulling water from Hartwell.
well, is the dam 100% dam?
Yes, Hartwell Dam is.
There's
It's a generation dam.
there's still there's absolutely not a bit of current coming through any part of that dam. There's
I've
no
seen that water down there so low, it's nothing but rocks. Nothing's flowing. It's like a dead pool.
Well, maybe they go skinny. Maybe it's instinctual, for them to.
Yeah.
Skinny water is going to tend to, have more current than deep water.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you a question here real quick. Thomas Walker. Since you seem to know a bit about Santee, how in the heck does the Menhaden get in Santee? Maybe you know, maybe you don't. I'm assuming they kind of get through the dam somehow, but I'm kind of curious.
They come up the Cooper River.
But the striper cannot. So,
yeah, striper do come up the Cooper River
through the dam there in Santee.
Yeah, that's how they got landlocked by accident.
They did, and that's just really more of a testament to global warming, is they don't come that far south anymore. They used to, but they don't anymore. So now all the striped bass in the Cooper River or the Marion or Moultrie are stocked, but. They used to, but the Menhaden still do.
Gotcha.
Now, hey Thomas, don't they still? There's something about the river herring that the state actually uses the fish lift. The fish lift is very important for their spawn because when they come up, they'll trap them in the lift it up, dump them in the Lake Moultrie on the lower lake. Let them swim all the way up to do their spawn, and then they swim back down. If I think that's the story, is that right, Thomas? Because I know one year, I think it was the first or second year of the Monster Quest, they had put too much weight in the fish lift with river herring, and some cables broke on it or something, and it malfunctioned that year. And I forgot how many billions of river herring died because they couldn't get them up to the lake. And I think I don't know if that was the first or second year of the Monster Quest, because there was like no bait. There's no fucking bait nowhere on the lake. So there you go. Pete, you ever been to Santee?
I was last year for that tournament, and I will say that I kind of enjoyed my time there. Now, I spent my time in the lower lake, so I don't beat my shit up in the upper lake, but I enjoyed it. Those fish down there are strong.
That's a lot of water, ain't it?
Hell yeah, it is. Now, mind you, we went out there for 3 days of fishing, and each day we were out there, it was slick as glass. And I know that's normally not the case for Santee, so we got spoiled, but we had a great time, man. It was an awesome lake. We had a lot of fun out there. Ain't got to worry about hiding the background for a photo out there.
I know, right? You ain't gonna see nothing but water.
That's right.
That
so
water
y'all gonna go offshore with me here in a couple of weeks?
I'd love to. Something about Santee, let me mention real quick, is that there are certain, I've fished Santee only a handful of times, and I've been in areas of Santee where I've been in tannic water. I don't have a lot of confidence I've never had any luck in tannic water. I've fished the Waccamaw River several times, never had a ton of luck fishing any kind of tannic water. And you guys know what I'm talking about when I say tannic water? Yeah, it's that like coffee colored
iced tea color water, right?
Yeah. There was I found an area on Santee. Matter of fact, I was fishing with the tournament director for the Southeastern Brian Snipes, and we were fishing an area of Santee. I guess it was when you and I were with him, Wes. You remember Wes, when we fished that one area and the water was so clear? I think we were fishing like we were anchored in like 8 feet of water, and it looked like it was
down there by Short State Campground.
It looked like it was about a foot deep. The water was so clear, and that water it was weird because it was clear, but it was also tannic looking. I don't know. Tannic water scares me. I don't like because I'm thinking alligators and not much fish.
Where did Wes run off to?
Oh, I'm here. I got my mic. I got my hip. I'm smoking. I quit smoking in my house about 2 years ago. So I just didn't open the door to smoke. But I still got.
Scott Perry's going to be on today.
Well, I think I sent him an invite. I'm pretty sure I send Scott an invite every week. You know, he'll grace us with his presence every once in a while. But
so Wes, when are you going offshore, or when you plan on go?
Not this coming weekend, and then the following weekend is Mother's Day. But maybe after that, maybe Monday, depending on the weather, any day that following week or that following weekend. And I got a buddy named Scotty Cannon. If he gets some of his stuff straight, he wants to go. So I'm just trying. I'd like to get about 3 people to go with me. Would be perfect.
Here's a calendar.
So the mahi, you say the mahi ain't even got there good yet? I figured it'd be
Not
another 2 or 3 weeks.
Not yet.
Maybe this.
They're killing them down there out of Charleston right now.
Maybe the 6th.
I haven't seen any good reports out of
The
Charleston.
11th.
I'm seeing some fish caught, but
May 6th through 11th. That's a Monday through Saturday.
Maybe May 6th through the 11th.
May 6th through the 11th. So I'm on vacation the 8th through the 16th. So it's possible, but we're going to see what things progress there.
I have
JR's on strike. You're on vacation, so that's perfect.
now. I have I got a fishing trip with Spivey May the 11th, but it's just a day trip. It's just a quick.
But you said the 6th.
It's probably like a more like a quick half day
We get
trip.
the kids this
Where
weekend.
to?
They go home.
On the river.
You think I'm gonna tell you?
Man, last time I talked to you, you talked about going to the dang Roadhus River there in Roadhus to catch a trophy.
Yeah.
I figure your ass been there twice already and skunked. So
I'm smart enough to not go this early.
Looks like Daryl found a little hot spot in North Carolina. Said he's doing better there than he was
Hot
in
spot?
Tennessee.
What are you catching 2-pound channel catch? You call that
That's-
a hot spot?
that's a damn
No,
terrible-
he's a striper.
that's
I'm
a
talking about
community
Daryl
hole.
Marty.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's a community hole if you got a jet drive boat there.
Oh. Looked like he caught some nice fish. He caught one about 18 pounds, 19 pounds, didn't he?
did
I
he?
knew-
I watched that live stream for about 5 minutes, and all I seen him catch was a couple little dink channel cats.
That's all I saw. I saw one striper. That's it. Not to say he didn't, but I don't stalk Facebook like some folks do.
You don't stalk Facebook?
Nope.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Bullshit.
I don't stalk people on Facebook. I mean,
You're,
I see some-
you're more active than me and Wes combined on
That's a
Facebook.
damn
You're a
lie.
fucking troll.
That is
You're
an
a troll.
absolute
He
lie.
is a big troll.
Yeah.
He's almost as bad as Scott Perry.
That's
Yeah,
a
he's
damn
a
lie.
troll.
He's just not
He's like
quite as
Freddie
mean.
Mercury.
Might be
Scott-
just
Scott's
just
He's
mean.
like
Folks
Freddie
control.
Mercury with a bad haircut.
Scott's what they call a mean girl. And, Pete just be trolling people, but he'll throw like a laugh out loud emoji out there. He's letting you know, hey, I'm just fucking with you. Scott Perry will be like, haha, is that your wife?
Hey, you know what I found out, JR? When you do a live video, I tried to get it off of my Facebook page, but the reason I kept it, I didn't realize when I go live, and especially if it's a fishing video, if I look back on my story and click it, you can see everybody. I've had videos over 200 people watched. 5 people liked it.
Yeah, they won't nobody like it.
Watched
Yeah, you can see who lurks when you post a story because
Exactly.
it shows
Exactly,
you who
right?
looks
That's
at
the
it,
reason
yeah.
I leave it on there.
I blocked that motherfucker.
I've seen Pete right there has watched quite a few of my videos and never hits like.
Well, I
So
think
do
what
you.
happens a lot of
What do
times
you?
is, for me personally, I'll accidentally hit someone's story.
Yeah.
And then whenever I do that, what I've started doing is I'll go back, I'll try to find it and go back and hit the like button just so I don't look like a lurker when they go back and be like, JR watched my shit and didn't hit like. So whenever I do that, I try to go back and hit like. But if I click on your story and intending on watching it and I watch your,
like it.
I'm gonna hit the like button. Even if I don't like it, even if I don't watch for like 5 seconds of it, I'm gonna go and hit that like button. It's social media.
As soon as I did that live video weekend before last, when we were up there above Milton Hill Dam, when I went with Daryl and them,
Yeah.
that live video I did
Yeah.
had over 200 people watched it, and like 12 people liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that's the world we live in, man. People are
Hey, I
all
like
kinds
your
of
stuff.
stuff.
I want to watch you. I want to be a fucking troll, but I'm not going to like it because I don't want you to know that I'm watching you.
Yeah. Well, we none of us are perfect, and you, Wes, all you will do is hit that like button. You won't hit that laugh out loud, that heart, that any care, that anything else. All you'll hit is that generic like button. That's all you do.
Well, I like people to know if I watched their stuff, I liked it. I want them to know that I watched it. That I am interested in what you're doing.
Here's
or
a little tip.
You're doing.
Here's a little tip. If you want to promote someone, the algorithm likes those other emojis way better than just the regular old like button.
Like those. What if you put one of those up? Does it pick that up too?
I don't think they have that on there.
Yeah, I can shoot a bird. I can shoot.
Oh,
I got an emoji bird.
You can comment a bird, yes, and a comment is going to go further than hitting any of the like buttons for sure.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Scroll through the comments here. What we got?
Not a whole lot. Ever since they took those groups off of here, we don't have as many people watching. But, we'll have, if you'll look tomorrow, we'll have a couple hundred views tomorrow. So a lot of people watch after we've already been live. They'll go back and watch it.
Oh man, I go back to work tomorrow, man. I've been off 18 days. I don't know
how you've been off 18 days.
I got to double check. Yeah,
man. No wonder you be fishing all the time. Damn.
Yeah, I've been off since Sunday, April 7th.
Let me tell you, Spivey called me yesterday, and he said, "Man, I'm getting tired of all these people talking junk to you, man." And I'm like, what are you talking about? So, well, so and so said this, so and so said that, and I'm like, yeah, that's just camaraderie. We're just being guys. It's no big deal. They like me. They wouldn't be talking junk to me if they didn't like me. And I finally figured out why he's been saying that. You know what Spivey said to me?
What's that?
He said, "Listen, dude. I love you, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he said,
shit's going downhill with that comment.
he said, "You're going to have to quit living in the past, man. You're going to have to quit living what you've done in the past. You need to go catch a big fish because you're living in the past. Nobody cares about what you did in the past." And I'm like,
"There you go, Spivey. All right, applause,
all right,
Spivey.
All right. Well, first of all, that hurts a little bit.
Why does that hurt, JR? I called it 81-pound blue, and you said that was in the past and it didn't count.
Listen, if it's on a Polaroid, it definitely doesn't count. Okay,
dude, it's an 81-pound blue, no matter what it's
at least my big fish were like the S10, the Android Samsung Galaxy S10 was out.
It's because I'm 20 years older than you, brother. I was fishing 20 years before you.
Well, I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, you keep saying it don't count. An 81-pound fish is 81 pounds.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that. All I know is you're showing me an antiquated Polaroid of you standing beside a bragging board of a big catfish. There's no story there.
Oh, there's a big story there. You want me to tell it to you right quick?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Let's hear it.
Okay. I was planning to go to Santee Cooper, and I was working for Foothills Mechanical. So I said, well, I'm going to get off work Friday. And I got off. I worked from 7 to 7. Got off at 7 o'clock. Already had my stuff ready.
What was this? Who was president? Reagan? What was this, 1980, 87?
No. This was in 90. It's the late 90s, I think. I got it's on the Polaroid, but anyway.
Late 90s. Okay, go ahead, Pete.
So I got off work and I hauled ass down to Santee Cooper. I remember when I passed the Walmart distribution center, I had a brand new cooler, 150 quart cooler. The damn lid flew off of it, snapped off. So here I am with a brand new cooler, don't have a lid for it. I didn't turn around to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got down there about about 10:30 or about 10:40 maybe, right before 11 o'clock. I started to go to bed.
At night, yeah.
Said,
Okay.
Yeah, at night. So I started to go to bed, and I said, I said, hell, I ain't gonna get to fish for 2 days. I'm gonna go ahead and so I launched right there at Harry's, put my pontoon boat in, and it was dead. You could hear crickets with nobody around. So I said, I'm gonna go down to the lower lake because I done had my run-ins with the upper lake. Don't fish it no more. So anyway, I'm going down. As soon as I get down, I'm trying to call Pete on, back there. Then we use VHF radios.
So you're probably what, 20 in your 20s?
27, 28 years old.
Okay.
And Pete didn't come over to radios. I said, damn, he ain't even fishing. And so JD, what was his last name? Anyway, JD answered the radio, and I said, are y'all doing anything out there? He said, yeah. He said, we coming in now, but he said, it's rough out here when you get past whatever buoy marker he was telling me. So I said, well, I'm going to stay right here at the mouth of the canal. He said, I'm going to pull up on one more spot out here and fish, and I was coming in.
No, were you by yourself?
I was by myself.
Okay.
So I throw the anchor off the front, anchor off the back. They wasn't pulling water. And I was right there. If you go out of Blacks or you're in the canal, right where the tree line ends, and you've got then there's another cypress tree about 100 foot off of there. There's a little space right there.
Mm-hmm.
I was right there. So I just fan casted, and I was sitting back. And the third fish I hooked up with.
Now, what was you using for bait? You remember?
White perch.
White perch.
Yeah. Pete had left me some perch here at Harry's. I told him what cabin I had rented, so he left me some white perch there.
Okay.
Well, anyway, they had started pulling water. They had just started, getting a little current. And that's when I hooked into that big fish. And listen, I was asleep when that rod went off, and I almost walked off the pontoon. I had that little side door open.
Yeah.
And anyway, long story short, that's when I hooked the fish. And it was on seemed like I had an Ambassador Red Reel 6000.
Great reels. God, they're good reels. Only difference in the red and the silver, the C3s, is that you got bushings instead of bearings. And a lot of guys prefer those bushings. But what the story that you just told, Wes, that it backs up like Spivey told me yesterday. He's like, man, you living on your past achievements, man. You need to go. The thing about I fished 3 days last week, and I fish every week. I go fishing all the time. I don't take a picture of every single little dink that I catch and post on Facebook. Catfish to me are trash fish. The only catfish that are worthy of actually taking the time and the data and the space on your phone to take a picture is something that's at least 20 pounds to share on social media. If it's not at least 20 pounds, I'm not I'm not going to be that corny guy that's posting pictures of 7-pound freaking blues. But what you just told, the story that you just told.
Well, I didn't finish it.
Oh, I thought you said that you were finished. Okay, go ahead.
Well, but anyway, so I'm fighting this fish, and the longer I fight it, the more water they're pulling. And JD Champion was the guy's name. So, dude, I was in this for literally 30 minutes. And I remember I had a spotlight, and I'm trying to do this and hold the light. I'd get the fish up. She'd come up, she'd roll. The fight was going out of the fish, but the current, I couldn't do, I had a 6,000 with 20-pound test line. And I'm anchored up. You can't do nothing. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of fish in current. So anyway, I seen a light coming in the canal, and I got on the radio and I said, and this is real. This is a true story. It's not made up. I said, who's that coming in the canal? And he got on radio, and JD said, that's me. He said, Wes, is that you up there? I said, yeah, listen. I said, I need a favor. And he said, what is it? And I said, you got a party, don't you? And he said, yeah. I said, well, JD, I've got a huge fish on. I don't know how big it is, but I've been fighting this fish for about 45 minutes, and I'm about to die. I said, I can see her. She comes up, and then she'll just drop the current. She's almost like letting the current keep me from getting her to the boat. Mm-hmm. So I said, can you net a fish for me from your boat? And he said, I don't know. And he told one of the guys that was on his party. Then I seen a spotlight come on. So I was trying to put my spotlight out there about where, the fish was coming up and going down, coming up, going down. So about 15 minutes, long story short, I don't know if you'd consider this a caught fish, but they netted that fish for me from another boat and then brought it over to my boat. So Yes, that's the story behind that 81-pound catfish. So I fought it for about 45 minutes, so I consider it a catch.
That's amazing. And you went out there, you know, your buddy gave you some bait, which I can relate to. You know, you spent a lot of time. You spent so much time you fell asleep. The fish, you hooked the fish up while you were asleep, and that's really why I'm not catching big fish, is because to catch, and it's not like I can't go catch big fish. I can go catch big fish, but catching big fish is extremely time consuming. You just don't go out there for a couple hours and catch big fish. So I like to, I've been going out there for a couple hours at a time. You know, I like to drink a couple beers, smoke a cigar, fish for a little while. If I catch something, I do. If I don't, I don't. But if I wanted to go catch a big fish, you're looking at a minimum of like 12 hours of fishing to have a chance at catching a big fish. It takes time, and I just don't have that kind of time anymore. Now, granted, if somebody wanted to press me, if somebody wanted to say, hey, you know, I can kick your ass, you want to fish for some money or something, then yeah, I could go out there for 12 hours and catch a big fish. But what do I have to prove? If somebody's going to talk shit to me and all they're catching is panfish,
don't be looking at me,
and haven't caught any big fish, freshwater, then
don't be looking at me. Don't be looking at me.
What do I got to prove? I've already proved I've proved I can catch big fish year after year after year. Now, granted, it's been years since I've caught a big fish, but I've proved I can do it. So that's what I was telling Spivey. It's not that I'm living in the past. It's just that if you're going to talk shit, you better be catching some big fish. If you're going to talk shit, anybody can go catch crappie. Well, not anybody, but most of us guys that can fish can go catch crappie. So if you're going out, you know, you got a guide business and you're putting clients on crappie, you know, that's awesome. You know, you're going out there, you're learning, you're putting a lot of time on the water, you know, you're getting better, etc. But as far as the shit talking goes, how much shit can you really talk when all you're catching is crappie?
Go shit talk a lot.
Go catch a big fish. Now Lee went out, and because what Lee's been doing is he's been trolling, and he'll catch a crappie and he'll use it for cut bait. And he takes a catfish rod or two with him, and he has started dragging for catfish while he's crappie fishing with clients. So he's very likely to catch a catfish, and he stuck a couple pretty decent catfish lately, and I'm very proud of him for that. And I hope that that inspired. It was PBs for him, and so I hope that inspires him to maybe start to target those bigger fish more often. Because I mean, yes, I know that it's fish porn, and I know that it's not sustainable. You can't go out and catch big fish all the time. I understand that. But I think that people are to set aside some time to target some big fish and stop being afraid of being skunked, and stop being so greedy, and, you know, maybe take a guide trip off, maybe sacrifice a few $100 to go out and target a big fish. Because how awesome would that be? It's almost like what's that story? The old man, is it the old man in the sea, where he goes out and he catches the big, what is it, a blue marlin, and he's dragging the blue marlin back, and like everybody wants that story of that big fish. And Pete, as good and well-rounded of a fisherman as you are, as successful of a fisherman, and I mean, you don't know how many people I've talked to that's been like, man, that damn Peter Malik he's one hell of a damn fisherman, ain't he? And I agree with him every time. Of course, yes, you are 100% a damn good fisherman, one of the best. But set aside a little time, and how about targeting a trophy every once in a blue moon?
Live scope, baby. Live scope.
Hey, get you one of them on live scope.
Live scope. I will. No, I'll be spending more time saltwater this summer, hopefully, targeting.
Oh my goodness, meathead.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Gosh, both of you guys are fucking meatheads. Right. Well,
hey,
at least Wes is a trophy striper fisherman in freshwater.
You are too.
Well, that's saltwater.
No, I said trophy striper fishing.
Yeah, that is pretty epic. Look
Look
at
that
that.
belly.
Golly, look at that.
Doing show and tell.
This is show
Hey,
and
we
tell.
caught all those fish in 3 hours.
It be like that sometimes, right?
Go do that on the Catawba or the Yatkin.
There's not no fish in there like that. So how you gonna do it?
Well, how about go out and catch the biggest fish that those areas, those chains have to offer?
There's your buddy JR. You remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh wall dog.
There we go.
There we go, baby. That's a damn trio. Got
Boy, that
flip-flops.
fish. That,
We're out there wahoo fishing and king fishing, and we got fucking Guggen there with flops on.
Right.
hey, Pete, you know how we caught that fish, don't you?
I've heard the story 20 times already. Yes, sir.
How did we know? Okay, how did we catch it?
You free line some dang piece of shit bait off the back of the boat.
You got it. You don't forget, Wes. Pete's got he's got one of those eidetic memories. He remembers.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. Do you know why we did that?
Because that's the only damn thing you had to put out there.
No. I'm trying to give you a fucking compliment. You Freddy looking, Mercury looking motherfucker.
He doesn't have a mustache.
All right, now, womp head. Go ahead.
Because you told us to. You said when y'all bottom fishing, you said out there where you get in the current, you said just throw you anything dead off the back of the boat and just let it sit there. You never know. And that's what we did. And we had just got every rod in. I was washing the boat down, cleaning it. We forgot about that rod being out there. I'd have probably took off with the damn rod because it was in the tower. And that son of a bitch took off and it left there like an alarm clock. We thought it was a wahoo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Daryl Barney wants to kick my ass fishing for money on April the 25th. Go figure. A concrete cowboy trying to challenge somebody in peak spring bite season. Daryl, you don't want none of this, Barney. I promise you don't want it. What do you want? Oh, I'll oblige. What do you want to do,
Here
Barney?
we go.
What do you want to do?
Here we go.
Let's go striper. Let's go Yatkin versus Catawba striper for the month of May. Let's do that. Daryl, you heard me. Let me know. Well, guys,
said anywhere.
Are you guys wanting to continue?
Well, hell, I thought it's fixing to get good. Daryl must be in the liquor.
I know, right? I'm sure Daryl's lit right now.
I got to be at work at 4:30, and it's been over an hour now. So I'm
going
to go ahead and call it.
Real tomorrow?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Me and Pete might stay on here for a while if he wants to.
We can talk some shit as always.
Okay.
Right?
Well, you guys talk some shit. Hey guys, thanks for coming by. Don't forget, every Thursday night at 7, real fishermen come by, hang out with us. Who knows? You might learn something. We might learn something. It'll be fun talking fishing. And don't forget to hang on. I wrote the note down here. Get out and go fishing. Enjoy the resource. See you guys next week. Good night.
JR, have a good one, buddy.
Good night. Take care, buddy. Enjoy your last day of work for a bit.
Hold on, Pete. I'm trying to get Barney an invite here.
All right.
I get his name. There we go. Daryl Barney. Click. Send. All right, Daryl, you got it in. Well, it says an error occurred. What the hell? Reload page. Yeah. All right, let me try it one more time. Hold on, Daryl. I'm trying to send you an invite. Okay, invite. Copy. Paste messenger. Daryl Barney. Keep saying an error occurred. Please try. Can you send Daryl an invite from your page, Pete?
Yeah, I can try. Let's see.
Try it. It won't let me send him one for some reason. Try to do it without pasting it. Let's see. Invite. Messenger. Daryl Barney. Send. I don't know. It won't let me do it. Keep saying an error occurred. Try again later.
All right, let's see what I can do here.
Let's see. Invite, copy. Nope.
All right. 1 second. All right, I got it.
All right. But yeah, Pete, if you're going to be off, just 2 more days after that, it ain't. I was just trying to pick that week's going to be my first available week. But I would like to go out there and maybe try to get on some mahi or a couple of wahoo. How long? Them wahoo will be here until about what, June, before they start moving back out?
Well, about now. You'll still always catch a few here and there.
I'm talking about the big ones. I don't want a 20 or a 30 pounder.
Until about now.
So they're starting to move out now. Well, still got the blackfin and the mahi.
Yep. I've been craving a nice little blackfin or a yellowfin, fresh, to make some meals out of. Some sushi, sashimi, all the good stuff.
Now, what is sashimi? What is that?
Sashimi is raw fish.
Ooh. Well, what is sushi? I thought that was raw fish.
Sushi's also raw fish.
Okay, that's what I said.
Sushi's with
What's
rice.
the difference?
Sushi is with rice and some other stuff.
Oh, okay.
Sashimi, just raw, plain fish.
All right. All right, Daryl, where you at?
Come on, Barney.
There he is.
Gonna be disappointed I'm sober.
Oh, God.
What's up, man?
What's happening, bro?
What's up? What's up? You
I've
sober?
Have you mailed my hoodie?
I've had a few beers. I'm gonna try
Have
to
you
get it
mailed
down
my
in the
hoodie?
morning, Wes. I'm going to the post office in the morning.
My man.
Trying to get packed up to go to Tennessee fish with your boy.
Oh, Chris Hovis.
No.
Hovis is coming up there tomorrow.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, we're gonna have a big cookout at the campground. I got 2 Boston butts I'm fixing to put on at midnight. Pack them in the cooler and take them tomorrow. So him and Reel's coming up. Billy.
boy.
Should be
Be
a
a
good
bunch of
time.
drunks. Be a
Yeah,
bunch
but
of drunks.
Trouble.
Well, it'll be story time with Doug Cole, right?
Yes, sir.
I can't wait. My wife's coming, so she'll get to experience the whole gamut. I was like, "Are you sure? Are you certain about this, honey?" Of course, she plays along pretty well, but it's like Todd said he might bring. Todd said he might bring Stephanie over. What do you think that chances of that happening are, Wes?
No, it ain't going. Not over there. That ain't. I know Stephanie. That ain't happening.
I didn't figure so. He said he'd probably roll by. I think we're gonna fish a little bit on Saturday together. Maybe Sunday morning.
Is the bite on in Tennessee now?
So what?
Is the bite on in Tennessee?
It's horrible. It's absolutely the worst. Part of the guys have been going to Cherokee to fish because that's the only place anything's biting, Pete. We're gonna go. We're gonna go over on the French Broad, try to fix
They're
Cody
going on
up
the Cape
again.
Cruise. Cape Cruise.
Cody
Remember,
up
Cape
again,
Cruise.
try to catch a big one.
Cape
Cody's
Cruise.
going with you?
So what?
See, Cody's going with you?
No. I'll tell you later. I got him something for the store.
Ah, gotcha.
Well, you come on the show with some private shit.
Well, I mean, we are public, right? Somewhat.
I know we've got all of 12 viewers right now.
So speaking
But yeah,
of
there's no water, Pete. Just zero. I caught some. I mean, the fishing ain't real bad in the Yakin. I don't know how it is. I mean, I laughed. I told Mullis the other evening. I said, "That's a $22,000 fish or $27,000 fish we just caught. If we would have caught it in the striped bass challenge."
yeah. What'd you guys catch? I didn't see a video.
Catching nothing but catfish up there.
Yeah, I caught one decent striper.
I thought you did, but Pete and JR said you didn't.
No, I got there's a video in the middle of a decent striper.
Told y'all, Pete.
How big?
First fish we caught, I mean, I didn't weigh anything. I'd say 10, 12 pounds.
Gotcha. So I hear that your boy Mullis is out there having a hard time catching some damn crappie and high rocks with damn bait.
He ain't just having a hard time. I think this is his third trip. I talked to him like an hour and a half ago, and he finally found. He said he caught 4 and a perch and something else. So, well, don't leave the area.
Damn. If you can't catch no crappie in a high rock, you just might as well pack your shit and go home.
It's killing him that Cody or you won't put him right straight on him. But
I talked to Cody a little bit ago, and he had a few words to say about something from the past about how Mullis wouldn't tell him where to get bait somewhere. So he's like, you know what? Have a taste of your own fucking medicine. So yeah, that's what I got out of it.
Sometimes that's how it works, right?
Right. That's it. Can't always be secretive with everything, right?
That was the reason that we rode down there the other evening, and he catfished. He wanted to catfish, and we went and got him some shad. I figured I could get some shad, and I'd been wanting to run my jet drive anyway. It's a good thing because I think the gas was half dead in the carburetor. I think it was going to start. I had like a half a tank, but I only put non-ethanol. But I got to adding it up. It's been like 8 months. I was like,
damn.
It's a wonder it even ran, but it ran good once I got it started. But
nice.
that initial was a little spooky. It was getting a little slow on the battery. But well, we had never come off the trailer, but it should be really, 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 really good if you ever wanted to go see Idols. In the next 2 weeks, this is probably in 5 or 6 years. This is the highest I've seen it. And it be even remotely clear. Usually, as soon as this happens, and it's the first time I hear about somebody catching 10 stripes, it'll be the flood will come that night.
Yeah, right.
That's the normal, but I mean it don't look too bad for the next couple of weeks. So I mean,
here lately they've been keeping that water up on the high rock. It's kind of shocked me. The water's down.
It looks really good in the river, man. I'm telling you, it had a good color the other evening. I mean, the trouble now is, which I don't mind, but it was the same the past 2 years. This time it was channels, but last year and year before last it was blues. I used to always just sit down in a free line shad, and but you can't now. I mean, they just get gobble gobbled. I mean, as soon as they hit the catfishes, you can catch 5 to 7 pound blues the past 2 years. And the other night, Josh was catching those on live brim, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
7, 8 pound channel caps.
Gotcha.
But
what's he fishing out of there? Did he pull his boat back?
No, that was Josh Mullis. He was fishing with me.
Oh. Was that the guy that was with us when I fished with you last year?
Got
a beard.
Yeah, yes, him, redheaded guy. Yeah, red beard. Yeah, you were with us on that trip.
Yeah, we had 3 or 4 on at one time.
Yeah, we had a good morning that morning. But yeah, Tennessee. But
so I thought last year sucked. I guess this year sucks even more than last year.
And it's basically the exact same. Me and Todd's daddy was talking about it. It's pretty much so exactly the same. I tell everybody wants to come in March and April, and I tell them May's usually the best months up there.
Uh-huh.
Not just for numbers either. I mean, I went and fished up on the lake one day with Wes. We had a good time, but it had rained, 3 or 4 inches the couple nights before Wes and had all the creeks jacked up. But we I was just watching. I've never been up there, so Wes kind of showed me around the top of the lake. So,
hey, Daryl, do you remember when we passed that? When we went in that curve, and I pointed over there to that smokestack, that dome, and I told you, I said that's Oak Ridge right there. That's where they made the bombs.
Right.
They're doing a documentary on that place now. I seen it on Fox News tonight, talking about just how contaminated that area really is right now.
Well, as soon as you go into the bridge before the first island where that frog pond's at, Todd says that's just barrels of that crap.
Yeah, it's from the Manhattan Project. All that's Manhattan Project waste.
I figured I didn't know it was that big because, above 58 where we pulled, I know all that flat where it's just, there won't even shit grow over there. But they're always, the reason you can tell something's weird is they're always out there just turning. It's like they're turning the top 2 inches of dirt over. They never dig
It's
down.
terrible.
They never let anything grow. It's really weird.
Dude, East Tennessee, the majority of East Tennessee is fucking contaminated. That's why they got so much money after World War II, because they paid East Tennessee to be a dumping ground for the Manhattan Project waste.
Well, I'm sure you've been out there. I've been talking. You ever seen those? These girls actually, because I was talking to them, so they come by and interview you when you're up there. And I mean, they're not
want to know what you call?
Yeah, they're
Tell you
not
not to eat it.
supermodels, but they're nice enough that you'll talk to them. You know, what I mean, they had a little old aluminum boat, and they come through, and they go like, "Well," I finally asked them. I said, what's the point? Because the girl had asked me something like that she hadn't before. She's like, "Do you ever put your hands in the water?" So, yeah, of course we're fishing. I said, I washed the fish slime off, and I was like, "Would you put your hands in this water?" She said, "Never."
Nope.
I was like, "Really?" She said, "No, I would never put my hand in that water." She said, "I'm careful when I'm stepping on and off the boat." I was like, "And you work for and they actually work for the Department of Energy." I said, "So who are y'all?" Because she said that the whole point was to prove how bad it was and make somebody finish cleaning it up. And I'm like, we're talking about, decades ago. If it ain't clean yet, how are they going to clean it up? She's like, "Oh,
they don't have nowhere to put it. What they going to do with it? They're just going to move it from Oak Ridge or East Tennessee and take it to some other area. I mean, that girl on Fox News tonight said there's nowhere in America that you can dump this kind of waste and it not be harmful within 100 miles. There's not a community within 100 miles that you can dump that stuff in where it wouldn't be harmful or contaminated. Nowhere.
I still talk to them, but if them girls had their choice from all the stuff they know, they would never, ever, ever let any of us even own that river. You know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
That's the spooky part is they would shut it down. But I mean, you got to figure if it's there and there's many places. I mean that flows all the way back around to Loud and all the way back up into Tellico via the lock. I mean, it'd have to run backwards, but that.
He
lost him
all the way through Watts Bar, all the way through Chickamauga, and what was Chickamauga running into? It goes all the way to what? Chattanooga? Excuse me.
No.
Into whatever. What's up there? I ain't sure what the next lake above is, but
it's a pit.
I guess it goes. Does that go to Cordell Hole west?
No,
it does, right?
No, Cordell Hole. No, Cordell Hole is way north of
the Cumberland.
No, Cordell Hole. All that's way north of East Tennessee. That's up in Middle Tennessee.
Hold on. I can't hear you for some reason. Mullis tried to call me, and now I can't hear y'all.
Oh, what does Mullis want? Tell you how shitty it is?
JR couldn't resist. He had to come back.
Guess so. Well, hey, I'm going to jump off, man. I'm going to go to bed. Oh, there he is. Oh.
Hey, JR. What the hell's he doing?
He might not know he's on.
What does HFIC mean?
No, I got on here trying to turn this monitor off to go to bed.
What is HFIC?
HFIC.
Below his name?
It means head fisherman in charge.
Oh, hell.
JR, I said what I said because of the comments you made. Oh, he gone.
Daryl want to tell you something, JR.
JR, I said what I said because of the comments you made.
May.
Well, if there's some smart.
That's all I got to say to you. Biggest fish in May, Yadkin versus Catawba.
When are we doing our little crappie tournament, by the way?
Put up or shut up.
Strike bass. I'm on.
Damn. I love it.
Got a chance.
I love it. Awesome. Well, anyways, I'm going to jump off, man.
All right, I am too. I got to go to bed.
All right.
Hey, guys, it's been a great show. Daryl,
See you.
why didn't you wanted to be on? You should have told me. I sent you an invite earlier. Well, I tried. Wouldn't let me.
I actually just looked down at my phone and saw that y'all were live. So I've been working, trying to get the car loaded and getting the grill prepped. And or the smoker and all that. Been kind of busybody in this afternoon.
All right, baby. Y'all have a good trip up there this weekend.
All right, gents. Catch them up, man.
All right, man. Y'all too. Have a great weekend.
Don't do anything too
All right.
crazy. We'll see it.
Yeah, we'll be.
Peace.